all the businesses supplying goods whose turnover exceeds, already said that one, if it exceeds 40 lakhs, they will come under the GST brackets. Any person who is not a resident or here, and if he is doing any business activities, he comes under non-resident taxable person and he is eligible to pay GST. Most business in India fall under this category. Business whose turnover exceeds 40 lakh in financial year are required to register as a normal taxable person. Warm welcome to 5th Sem BCom student. The subject we're discussing, Goods and Services Tax Law and Practice. In this session, we are going to learn the concept of GST registration and who is a related person and what is called supply or taxable supply and even which concepts have been excluded from the GST. I am Professor Rajesh L.R. from Department of Commerce and Management from Vidhyaashram First Grade College, Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. In this session, as I said that one, we're going to have the registration process, who is eligible, what are the types of registration we have, benefits, supply and taxable supply, and supply in the taxable territory, and even taxable person under GST, transaction between related person. These are the major concepts what we are going to have the discussion. GST registration is a process which made compulsory for all business people in India from 2017 after the GST came into existence. The main concept of GST is nothing but one nation, one tax. And if the people are doing any type of business or any trade and commerce activities, that is called economic activities, they have to register their business concepts in the GST. Now, if I'm earning or if my turnover is less than 20 lakhs or 40 lakhs in certain states, so there is no need to register that one. If I'm a consumer where I'm purchasing the products and I'm going to consume the products, then GST is not required for me. Only for those people who are going to use the goods for further business activities. Those people have to register GST. Now, what is the process we have here? I have to submit certain documents to get the registration under GST. After registration of GST, the GST is going to give GSTIN, Goods and Services Tax Identification Number, which is a 15 digits number which will be given for the business. And assume that if I am doing businesses in more than one place, like for example in Karnataka I'm doing, and in Andhra, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, or any other states, if I'm doing business here, in each and every state I have to obtain a separate GST for my business. One GST cannot be used in all the places. So now it is clearly informed that when if my business is in more than one place, I have to have the GST, separate GST for each and every business unit wherever we have the. All the businesses supplying goods whose turnover exceeds, already said that one, if it exceeds 40 lakhs, they will come under the GST brackets. And there is in certain state, like for example, northern eastern states like Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand, in these places, if my turnover is 20 lakhs, about 20 lakhs, then I have to register, or else there is no need to register at all. The turnover limit is 20 lakhs in case of special category states of rupees 10 lakh for mixed supply and for services providers. They're saying that if we are doing any mixed supply related businesses are there, then it is going to be 10 lakhs. Instead of 20 lakhs, they made 10 lakhs here. The list of certain business whose GST registration is mandatory irrespective of their turnover. First one, casual taxable person, input service distributor. They're saying that when we are doing business here, having more than one branch or any number of branches here, so where the GST will be paid by the head office and the person who has paid the GST from the head office, it will be called as input service distributor. He is going to pay tax on all the branches. Later, he is going to divide that one on proportional basis of the turnover of each and every individual branches and is going to communicate what is the GST is applicable in their business unit. Non-resident taxable person, here nothing but any person who is not a resident over here, and if he is doing any business activities, he comes under non-resident taxable person and he is eligible to pay GST. Interstate supplier of goods or service. Inter means supplying goods from one state to another state. If I am doing any business activities or economic trading activities here, so when we are selling any goods from Karnataka to any other states, then I have to register under GST. Supplier of goods through an e-commerce portal. If I am selling my goods or commodities through internet, e-commerce, electronic commerce related concepts, then I have to come under the bracket of GST. Any service provider, like if I'm providing any services to any person, either it may be related to the business or related to any other health activities or anything, it may be from education concepts or other part of the concept of the business here, so then I'll come under the GST. Liable to pay tax under reverse charge mechanism means reverse charge mechanism in such a way that when I am purchasing the goods, at the time of purchasing the goods, I paid the tax here. When I sell any goods here to any person, so I'm going to collect the tax from those people. So this is called reverse mechanism here. I paid the tax and I'm collecting the tax here. Whatever the tax has been paid by me, it will be deducted from the tax collected at the time of sales, and remaining balance amount has to be paid to the government. So this is a reverse. So this is nothing but, in a simple way, we can understand here, a retail business people who are doing any business activities here, they pay the tax at the time of purchasing any product from the wholesaler, and later they'll collect the amount from the consumers. That concept is called reverse mechanism, where it will be reverse charged and will be paid to the government. Online data access or retrieval service provider. Online data is nothing but here where the tax will be paid by the people who are doing any online business activities, either registration of bus tickets or registration of any commodities or any type of business activity, whatever they are doing through online here. For those people, they will come under the GST. So for registration of GST, what are the documents we require? First document, the PAN, we require business PAN number, copy of Aadhaar card of the person who is starting business, proof of business registration, that is incorporation certificate or business registered certificate, and identity and address proof of promoters or directors with photograph. Recent photograph should be given there, and bank statement should be provided. Cancelled check should be given. Authorization letter or board resolution for authorized signatory should be given to the GST, and digital signature. If we provide all these things, so the GST will register our business in the GST portal, and they're going to provide a 15-digit number for every business. So who are those people? Normal taxpayers. Most business in India fall under this category. Business whose turnover exceeds 40 lakh in financial year are required to register as a normal taxable person. However, the limit 10 lakh if you have a business in northern eastern states, Jammu Kashmir, Uttar Pradesh, and Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh. Next, casual taxable individual. Occasional or seasonal business need to register their business under GST for this category. Like casual, seasonal business means it is nothing but, for example, we are doing a business called crackers business, and if we are selling any crackers, it can't be sold the entire 12 months here. On seasonal activities, we are going to do the business over here. If I'm doing any seasonal business here, I have to register my business in the GST. Non-resident taxable individuals. Individuals are reside outside India but occasionally supply goods or services through their agents or principals or in any other Indian. So they're saying that when a person who is residing outside India and is supplying goods or services to India, so then he has to register under GST. Composition registration. Business with an annual turnover up to 1 crore are eligible for registration under composition scheme, and here it is a fixed percent, 1% GST they have to pay on the turnover. Under this scheme, business have to pay the fixed amount of GST irrespective of their actual turnover. So they're saying that one, if they have registered under composition scheme here, whatever the turnover it is there, they're saying that one on the turnover, they have to pay the GST fixed rate. Fixed rate is 1% here. So I have to pay 1% on my turnover, and I'm not going to get any additional benefits from the GST. What are the benefits are there? GST eliminates the cascading effect of tax, means tax on tax concept, what we had earlier. So those concepts are being removed here, and it is going to be one nation, one tax. Higher threshold for registration. There is no like high concepts has been adopted in the GST here for the registration, or the limits has been extended for high amount. It is not there. So here it is clearly mentioned that when the business whose in turnover is above 40 lakhs, they have to register, or the business whose income or turnover is above 20 lakhs, they have to register. And in certain places, if it is a mixed supply, it is 10 lakhs. So they are given the limits and made the benefit for the business people. If I'm opting for composition scheme, benefit as given for all small businesses, they're saying that one, whatever the turnover you're going to make, you can come under the composition scheme, and where you have to pay only 1% tax, but you're not going to get additional benefits. Simple and easy online procedure for registration. Compliance is lesser. The number of conflict or the issues under GST is very less when compared to previous tax concept, whatever we had in India. Defined treatment for e-commerce operators. They're given clear information that one, how it is working out and how it can be used. And even a normal uneducated person can understand how the GST is calculated and what are the, once if we register our business in the GST, we'll come to know that one, when I have to pay the tax and when is the last date and how the tax has to be paid and how much tax I have to pay. Each and everything is up, it will be updated in the system, and we can get that one easily. If even I am a uneducated or illiterate person also, it is very easy to know that one, what is the actual amount of GST payable for the government. Improved efficiency of logistics. Unorganized sector is regulated under GST, means plenty of businesses they were doing, and those businesses have not registered and they were not paying the tax to the government. So those things has been organized now, and they made all the business people to come under GST brackets and register their business. So whatever the turnover they've made, they have to pay the GST, and it is going to be benefited for the business people, even for all the citizens of the society. By doing GST, so majority of the concepts of black money has been reduced here, and they started to give support for all the business to make in such a way that when every concept should be raised with the invoice, and they have to collect the tax and to pay the tax to the government, and the government is going to give benefit for the business and even for the society also. Now, what is supply here? Supply is nothing but whenever we do any economic activities, so at that time, if any, either it may be purchase or manufacture or sale, or if I'm giving any service, so that is called supply under GST. They combine all the things into one category. The term supply has been inclusively defined here. They say supply of goods or services, supply of anything other than goods or services does not attract GST. They're saying when those goods has been served or any goods has been moved from one place to other place, such things will be coming under supply. And where there is no, see here, anything other than goods means it is not a goods or it is not a services here. If we have made any concept of that one, that will not come under GST bracket. Supply should be made for a consideration. They're saying that whenever the goods has been transferred from one place to another place, they have to receive certain amount of benefit for the supply or the services they are given. So if it is made for a price or amount, then it is considered as a supply. And if it's not paid or if it is not sold for money, so then it cannot be called as a supply under GST. So next we have here, supply should be made in the course of furtherance of the business. They're saying that if any goods are been sold here, if that goods has been sold in such a concept that one, it is going to be resold, or if it will be used for further business activities. So then it is called as a supply. Supply should be made by a taxable person. They're saying that one, he should be registered under GST and he has to supply the goods or services to the person who is going to use for the further business activities. Supply should be taxable supply. Whatever the goods or services has been supplied here, it should be a tax. It should come under tax category, either CGST, SGST, or CGST, UTGST, or IGST. It should come under either intra or inter transaction event only. So based on those 6 concepts, whatever the parameters we have discussed here, any transaction involving supply of goods or service without consideration, what I'm saying, if it is not paid for any goods or services, they are not going to pay amount for that one, that cannot be considered as the supply of goods. Like for example, if I go for a restaurant and if I order a masala dosa, so that is called supply here. If I consume the same masala dosa in the home, in my home, so then automatically I'm not going to pay anything amount in the home for my mother or to my wife for serving a masala dosa here. But in the restaurant, for serving the masala dosa, we are going to pay the amount here. So they are saying that when you receive any goods or services here, if you pay the amount to that one, so then it is called the amount has been received for the supply, and that is called consideration. When are you going to pay amount? That is the consideration here. The consideration, if there is no any consideration has been involved in the supply of goods and services, that cannot be considered as the supply. Taxable supply. Any supply which you are going to make here, that should be come under category of tax concept here. So now, normally, if it is not leviable tax under the concept over here, like for example, the rate of tax we have here, 5%, 12%, 18% and 28% for all goods, and for diamond and other 3% and 2.5% we have here. If any supply is made and if it comes under the bracket of any GST norms here, then it is called as a taxable supply. And if we are not charging any tax on certain goods, like for example, any alcoholic which has been served for the human consumption, that cannot be treated under the GST. For a supply to attract GST, the place of supply is very important here. From which place the goods has been supplied, so it is more important here. Like for example, if it is within the state, it is called intra. If it is outside the state, it is called interstate transaction. And see here, for supply to attract, the place of supply should be in India, except for the state of Jammu and Kashmir. The place of supply of any goods or services is determined based on the section 10, 11 and 12 of 13 of IGST Act 2017. Intrastate transaction, the location of supplier and the place of supply determines whether a supply is treated as intrastate supply or interstate supply. If it is inter, it attracts IGST. If it is intra, CGST, SGST, or CGST, UTGST. So this is the thing what we have here. Supply in the taxable territory. Determination of the nature of supply is essential to ascertain whether it is an integrated tax is to be paid or central plus state it has to be paid. What we have to do? So we have to check that one whether it comes under inter-transaction or intra-transaction. So if it is inter, IGST. If it is intra, CGST and SGST. So we have to determine under which category it is being supplied. And if any goods are purchased or supplied to special economic zone or export oriented units, so there it attracts 0% GST. Next, taxable person under GST. A taxable person, already we were discussing from the beginning of this concept here. Taxable person under GST is a person who carries any business at any place in India, who is registered or required to be registered under GST, where economic activity has taken place. A person who is doing any economic activity in any place of India, whether he is a registered or not registered, is called as a taxable person under GST if he is doing any business activity, that is either trade and commerce or services, goods and services distribution. If he is doing any activity, okay, which is an economic activity, then automatically he comes under GST. A person means here individual, HUF, Indo Undivided Family, company, limited liability partners, association of person, body of individual, any corporation, government company, body corporate, incorporated under law of foreign country, cooperative societies, local authority, government, trust, artificial judicial person. These are called person under GST 2017 Act. Transaction between related person and other activities of the Schedule 1 under the CGST Act will be treated as supply even if it is made without consideration. In some of the concepts, if we have not received the consideration, but the goods and services are taken place here with the related persons, right? So then it attracts the GST. These activities are listed in the schedule of the CGST Act. These transactions are mostly between parties which are related or between an agent and a principal. They're saying that one, sometimes the goods will be sold by the main person to an agent with an intention to resell that one to some other person. So now the goods has been given to the agent here to sell that commodities in the market. So here we have not received any consideration, but it is treated as supply. Transactions between related person. Transactions between related person are special importance under any law. Pricing methodologies and arriving them at the challenging. When parties are related, the prices are controlled and they would not sometimes be the prices that would have otherwise been charged. At the transaction taken place between unrelated parties, that is nothing but they're saying that one. When we have produced the goods and will be given to the people to sell the commodity, the agents may sell at the same price or on a different prices based on the market strategies and on the consumer's concepts here. It may be sold at lesser price or higher price based on the income of the consumer or the way of the status of the consumer. They may change the prices according to the situation of the market. So here it is going to be a big challenge for the related parties to know that one, what was the actual price was collected and what is the GST has to be paid on the commodities which has been sold by the agent. Related persons are like any officer or director of one business or businesses which are legally recognized as partners, an employer and employee, like a company where they are going to have sales persons. So employer and employee is nothing but sales executive, sales agent, sales manager. They may sell the goods on the directions of the employer. Sometimes it may be sold at lesser price or sometimes it may be sold at higher price. One of them controls the other directly or indirectly. They are under common control or management. One of the person of the company, either director or any official person of the management. So he is also called as a related person according to GST. Already said that in persons, person is nothing but any individual, HUF, company, firm, partnership firm, LLP, limited liability partnership and cooperative societies. All these will come under person. It also includes entities incorporated outside India also. Persons who are associated with one another's business or a sole agent or sole distributor, sole concessionaire shall be deemed to be related person. They're saying that one either is directly or indirectly related to the business is called as a person or deemed person under GST 2017 Act. In the upcoming session, we are going to discuss about supply of goods via agent, permanent transfer, transactions which are treated as neither a supply nor a services, composite and mixed supply, and composition levy under GST. Let us solve some problems, basic problems under composition scheme as well as composite supply and mixed supply. Namaste to all 5th Sem BCom students. In today's session, we learned about the registration process and types of registration required under the GST. Thank you once again.